A diverse Terran army as this Mutalisk Ball does try to get in and do some damage here. Balls up a little bit, did allow the Thors to do damage to several of the mutas. You can see here a couple of them are sitting at very low hit points. So very important when you are microing mutas to keep them spread out a little bit. So that way the Thors do not do, Thor missiles don't do, a whole bunch of damage to all of them at one time. You keep them spread them out like this, they won't really do as much damage. So very important for Zerg players to note that. As the Terran is actually expanding down here as well. So this is a very, very macro, very economy intense game. As these mutas are going to try to come in, do some more damage. However, the Zerg or the Terran player does have that sensor tower, is able to see when the mutas are coming. So most likely the Zerg is trying to fake out the Terran, trying to keep him on the defensive while he expands and gains more map control, especially through this high yield here with these very well placed banelings, man. If any Marines came in here, they just would not stand a chance. As these mutas do come in, try to do a little bit of damage before the Terran forces come down here and guard the second expansion. Terran did actually see the high yield here, and we'll have to see how this goes. Those banelings did go up, killed a few Marines, not too terribly many. However, these mutas are trying to retreat until the land forces do get here. We do have many Zerglings, many banelings, and a whole bunch of brave little drones here. Zerglings going in to take the fire for the banelings. Banelings getting in there. Are they going to do any damage? I can't really tell. There is definitely quite a few explosions here. Zerg player did an exceptionally good job of keeping space in between the mutas to minimize the damage that the Thors do, which was really critical for this fight, because if these mutas were all balled up, they would have died so quickly, and because of the Terran actually would have technically won the land war, the Terran would have been able to push in. However, the Zerg does not really have enough to effectively push in, as the Terran player has built a planetary fortress on this command center, as well as several turrets, which very formidable static defenses here. It only really takes a couple turrets, a couple of well-placed turrets, to fend off the Zerg army. So Terran does have another sensor tower here, so he's able to see these Zerglings are going to come in, going to try to stem these Marines and kill these Zerglings. However, it is not going to be enough land units, as these mutas and Zerglings do get in here and do quite a bit of damage. As the Zerg player does try to come in, he is going to try to hit his SCVs. However, the turrets are right there guarding the minerals, but it looks like the SCVs are going to do the Mutalisk job for them, retreating out from the turrets here, letting the mutas get some pot shots, take some free kills, as this muta ball is just, I'd say this is the MVP ball of the game so far here. They've pretty much been the decisive factor in both of the engagements. Terran player is really having to play reactively, really on the defensive at this point, as the Zerg is continuing to taunt him with units all around the map. Like I said, the Zerg does have the high yield here, which is pretty much at full mining capacity here. Will be just a minute, as well as the Zerg having the having this mineral patch out here. Getting ready to mine from that. So Zerg definitely has, I would say, map control at this point, as he has also got several banelings here guarding this ramp. Very good for any sort of force that is going to come across and try to get behind the Zerg lines. And it looks like the Zerg player at this point is just going to kind of kick back 20, build up a little bit more. At this point he does have pretty much full map control. He does have an infestation pit here somewhere, as well as an Ultralisk cavern going down. Is getting some armor upgrades. Take a look here. It looks like he's just getting armor 1 for now. He does also have melee 1 and infestation pit right here. Going to go ahead and get the increased energy, increased starting energy for the infestors, which at this point would be a very good counter to the Terran forces. As you can see, a lot of his forces right here consist of Marines and a few Marauders, but I mean, a couple well-placed fungal growths would definitely hamper this army's ability to affect any sort of change on the battlefield. As the Zerg player does have quite a number of reinforcements down here at the high yield, and several spine crawlers here, which will pretty much deter any sort of ground attack. That will nonetheless not stop the Terran from attacking, even though he's going to try to build some bunkers. However, they are indeed in range of the spine crawlers here. And really, this attack isn't going to be able to do too terribly much. He is trying to retreat the Marines, as he does see the Zerg has overwhelming numbers right here. And I mean, how could he not? He's got so much income right now. And let's take a look at that here. It looks like the Zerg player is at 2,000 minerals. Oh man, that's just crazy. Compared to 1,200, 2,000 minerals per minute, man, that's just insane. both of these players have crazy incomes right now, but I mean the Zerg player is just absolutely insane right now. He is running off of, he's still got his natural here, which has enough minerals to count. He's got this, which is just now being saturated, and he does also have the high yield, which has plenty of minerals left over here. Looks like about 800 or so per patch on average. So does have a few extra drones going here for the gas, but that's okay. We will forgive him, as he more than makes up for it in his ability to macro out units. Let's actually take a look at the supply here. Oh, that's not spending, that's supply. There we go. Army. He is sitting at 200 of 200, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely insane. And the Terran player, he's sitting at 123 and 177. He does have these static defenses, which will help deter an immediate attack. However, Zerg's ability to just press and press and press and build and build. I mean, this army here can be replaced in a matter of, 20 seconds or so. So he will just be able to literally throw units at the Terran player, and frankly, he could probably get away with it, especially since he does have quite a few Ultralisks here now, which combined with the fungal growth will just tear through the Terran army so quick. Those Zerglings, however, did not tear through the Terran army. As you can see, the giant splatty blood of goodness there hanging out just at the front of Terran's forces here. Siege tanks are not sieged up, however, the Terran does have, looks like a couple drop ships here. We do have a siege tank, a couple Marines going to come down here, and very likely see a drop on this expansion. Yep, sure enough, we are seeing that right here, as the siege tank does come in. However, the siege tank is very close to the front, almost within range of these spine crawlers, however, not quite. And he's going to try to take some pot shots at this base. I'm not really sure it's going to be enough damage to warrant the unit loss right here. Yep, you can see right here, he's just moving his mutas in here, man. He sees there's only 8 Marines, and he's like, what Marines? I don't care about Marines, I'll eat them. I'm a flying T-Rex, as the great Husky would say. So I'm going to just look here a little bit more, both players continuing to macro up. I'll tell you what, man, this game, there hasn't been the most action I've seen in a Zerg versus Terran, but there is definitely unit diversity, man. You got to hand it both these players, as the Zerg is moving in with Zerglings, Ultralisk, and Mutalisk getting a very good spread on the Terran units, man. They were just decimated by these forces. Ultras coming in here, doing what they do, just chomping through the Thors, man. It's just not even fair at this point. Ultras are probably going to retreat because, the Terrans were able to do enough damage to drive back the forces. However, I mean, you saw in just a matter of 10 seconds, the Zerg army just came in and just decimated the Terran forces. And now they're going to eat queens for lunch. So, guess that was a victory meal here, as they're probably just going to go ahead and reproduce the armory that they lost here. That's, like I was saying earlier, man, that's what they can do at this point, Throw your army at the Terran forces, wipe out their army, and lather, rinse, and repeat. So, probably see a Terran expansion here in just a minute, as he does already have the orbital command built on this. He is trying to kill the debris right now, which, at this point, probably leaving it up there, it could have gone either way. If he left it up here, it would have kind of deterred the Zerg forces from really thinking that he had an expansion here. But at the same time, the Zerg would have probably, scouted it out at some point. So, really, when you're playing a game, you just kind of need to judge whether or not killing the rocks is a good idea, especially if you're a Terran player, as you can kind of use them to your advantage to kind of mislead the opponent. But taking a look at the Terran force here, man, Zerg's sending in a whole bunch of overlords, sacrificing them to the StarCraft gods to see what is going on in the Terran base, while he does send in the full force of his now reinforced army to just decimate the Terran forces. Very well placed fungal growth on the infantry now here, as they are just dying super quick to the might of the Ultralisk here, man. You listen to this noise, man. Sounds like you got a bunch of elephant ninjas just coming in here and hack and slash and everything, man. So, massive overlords here coming in here with the creep, trying to flood the Terran screen a little bit with Zerg units dropping a whole bunch of creep, keeping buildings from being placed down here, as there is the GG from the blue Terran. So I really did enjoy this game because you got to see a wide variety of Zerg and Terran units. A lot of Zerg games you won't even see games go this far. It's getting up to Thors. It just really doesn't happen. Most of the time you'll see a big MMM ball steamroll through, but this game in particular, you did see the full might of the Zerg arsenal, sans Corruptors and Broodlords. But I mean, the Zerg was able to out-economy the Terran player and keep enough pressure on the Terran player to keep him defensively, which let him expand all the way down, take the high yield, and really just overwhelm his Terran opponent with just sheer numbers, pretty much. I mean, he did micro, but if he wanted to, he could have just literally thrown units back to back, and he probably still would have won. So, very good map control by the Zerg player, very good, using basically he just used a land force to overpower Terran's land force, which, I mean, is arguably very powerful right now, as this was played on the 1.03 patch. So, anyways, I hope you all did enjoy the game. I'm going to look for some more to cast. Thank you for sending in your games to anarstarcraft@gmail.com, and I will see you guys later.